And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a little game called Waddle Downtown. This is from WizKids. It looks like a kid's game, but it's not quite. This is a game about moving penguins around the board and then playing scoring cards to score as many points as you possibly can. And here's how. You're going to be putting neighborhoods on the board. There's two neighborhoods, one that has the white background, one that has the black background. Although it's very possible that this is a 4-player setup, so sometimes you'll have, if in a game with maybe 2 or 3 players, some of the tiles might be considered in both neighborhoods. So like, for example, if this was like this, it would be in the black and in the white. So there's a mixture between those. Each player is going to get 4 red penguins and 4 yellow penguins. And they also have their own deck of cards. You're going to be drawing 4 cards from that, and you're also going to start with the copy card in your hand. So everyone starts with that one in their hand, and then you will start the game. So on your turn, the first thing you'll do is you will play one of your scoring cards in front of you. So let's say I put out this only red. Then you have 2 options. You can take any number of penguins that you want and put them in one neighborhood, anywhere you want, in open spots. So maybe I'd put penguin here, 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 and here. Then you'll score the card for the active neighborhood. The active neighborhood is the one I just placed them in. So here I said only red. So that's going to give me, each place that has only red in it gives me a point. So I'm going to score 4 points. And maybe someone else will play some penguins here. They'll put 2 yellows there and a yellow and a red there, and they'll score. And there's different cards here. For example, score places with 1, 3, and 5 penguins. Score places where there's more red than yellow. Score penguins that have places with most. Score them that have 2 or 4 penguins. Things like that. Now, another action you can take is, instead of putting penguins out on the board, you can pick one area, and then you can redistribute penguins either in that neighborhood. Maybe I want to do this, for example. Or I can redistribute them in the other neighborhood, which becomes the active neighborhood. So you can always take all the penguins off one spot and redistribute them. So your main action is putting out penguins in one neighborhood or redistributing the penguins in one area, and then you'll score your card. Now, there are a few cards in the game that have a special action that you can take. So for example here, empty 2 places and redistribute the penguins among them. If they're in different neighborhoods, you can pick which is the active neighborhood. Here, empty a place with at least 1 penguin and give them to your opponents one at a time in clockwise order. And then you'll score empty places. So that's kind of a cool card to get. And then some cards, like this crowd or this 1, 2, 3, when you score them, they affect both neighborhoods, not just the active neighborhood. Each person's going to take turns doing this, and after a certain number of rounds, depending on how many players are in the game ends, and whoever has scored the most points is the winner. WizKids continues to put out products of high quality. These penguins are fantastic. The red and yellow, the different sides to them, the speckled backgrounds of the white and the black tiles make them easy to see, and the artwork on these is very fun. You know, it gives me a Mr. Potter's Penguins or Happy Feet vibe to it, and I think people are going to like the art. The scoring board is my only problem with components, because these scoring tokens are eensy teensy little tiny tokens. I didn't like them much at all. But the cards themselves, they're good quality cards, and I found them pretty easy to understand because most of them are like more yellow or odd numbers. It's pretty basic. Where the game, I think, struggles a little bit is the rules. The rules are actually well written with examples and everything, but the game itself, I don't know how to explain it. They show some examples of the play, and I felt like the examples here, they could have said you have up to 8 penguins to play. There's just a few things that the rules themselves were a little difficult to grasp in a logical manner to some degree, and I'll explain that in a moment. But other than that, I really did think the components were great. At its core, Waddle is a very simple game. You're putting penguins out, scoring a card. You're moving penguins and scoring a card. And everyone has that copy card, which essentially lets them copy what the last person did. So if you sit there and go, hoo, 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 I'll play this empty card at the beginning and I get 5 points, well, the next person can be like, copy, 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 copy. You know, it's just kind of, it's this pretty simple game. And yet, man, oh man, do I find the rule set to be slightly dense for how simple it is. When I explain it and explain it and explain it, people are like, wait, so there's 2 neighborhoods, but I'm scoring for this neighborhood, and I could take them from this neighborhood and put them in this neighborhood. For some reason, and I don't know why, it's just one of those times where the game itself, now that I know how to explain it really well, I feel like I can teach it to people without too many problems, but straight from the rules, everyone is just kind of like, ah. And like I said, the concept's interesting. I just found the gameplay itself to not be that fascinating. It's like, put out some penguins and score. Pick a card from your hand that scores some points and hope the next person doesn't have that same card that they can play and get the same points from. Or that they can get even more points from. And you're going to get usually 1 to 5 points. Although, why would you play a card where you only got 1? You're going to usually manipulate the penguins to get more than that. And because of that, the game, to me, has 0 excitement. There's never like, look at that amazing move. It's like, look at the move you just made. It's almost a rote game. You sit there and say, I got cards that says score 1 point for every spot with a penguin in it. There's 4 empty spots. I'll put a red penguin in each. Now I got one that says have more red penguins than yellow penguins. That's probably not going to work well for me in this situation, maybe because there's all the red penguins are in one spot, and there's a lot of yellow penguins in another spot, and I don't want to move them around. I might get 1 or 2 points. So there's like a little bit of pausing on my turn. Each person looks at the cards, and they're going to say, what can I do to score the maximum amount of points? Yes, that's in lots of games. But what your maximum amount of points isn't that very many. And so you're going to sit there and think for a while, and then do a move. And because while I'm waiting for you to sit there a while and think and make your move, and then it comes to me, and I can't really do anything till I see what you've done. There's no strategy to this game. It's all tactical. You're only doing what helps you right now. And it's a light game, but it doesn't feel super light, and yet it also feels light at the same time. So if you play this loosey-goosey, just play cards, score points, talk, laugh, have a good time, then I would say at best the game is okay. I'll play it. It's fine. Great components. But other than that, I just don't know the audience for this. Kids are going to find it not that interesting, or they're just going to put out things and score points and see who wins. Adults are going to sit there and they might try to take the game too seriously, which the game doesn't seem like it's meant to. And it's just kind of a weird thing. There are games where you sit there and think, what's a cool move to make? You make it, you're like, look at that. I got 17 points. That was an awesome move. Here you're like, look at that. I got 4 points that turn, and you only got 3. And that just keeps the game from having this whoop moment. And I kind of want my games to have a whoop moment. Or to just be pleasant experiences where you don't have to think much. But this kind of doesn't, it's trying to fit in different categories. And the cuteness of it doesn't necessarily match, I don't know, it's kind of a mishmash. And unfortunately, I think at the end of the day, it just becomes a forgettable game. So it's okay, I'd play it, but it's not one that I would get really excited about. That's Waddle Downtown, although you gotta admit, cute penguins. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment, hey, those are cute penguins.